Hey everybody, this is your superhero ratio tables video. So if you look on the left hand side, you have Batman saving people in Boomville. On the right hand side, you have Iron Man saving people in West Leyden. So the question tells us, or asks us, which superhero saves people more often, and you have to prove it. So if I was looking at something like this, I see a bunch of ratios for both. I would simplify them first, or I would find the value to each one. So for Batman, he saves 12 people in 4 days. What goes into both 12 and 4? 4 does. So if I divide 12 by 4, I get this right here. If I divide 12 by 4, I get 3. And if I divide 4 by 4, I get 1. So if I bounce over to Iron Man, I've got 12 to 3. We're going to simplify that. So 3 goes into both. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into itself once. So we've simplified the ratios. This is one way you may be able to tell right now just by looking at those which superhero saves people more often. But I'm going to give you, excuse me, I'm going to give you a couple other ways to look at this. So if we start with Batman, I'm going to look at the saves column, and I'm going to say which one of these numbers, if any of them, match up over here with the saves of Iron Man. And it just happens to be that the 12s match up. So the 12s for Batman and the 12 for Iron Man match up. So for 12 saves, it takes Batman 4 days. And for Iron Man, 12 saves, it only takes him 3 days. So what that means is Iron Man saves people more often. So I'm going to show you one last way here, in case those two didn't make sense to you. I'm going to start with days, and I'm going to find the days that are in common. Now, there's lots of them. So I'm going to pick 5, because 5 seems like an easy number. In 5 days, Batman saves 15 people, and Iron Man in 5 days saves 20 people. Therefore, Iron Man is saving more people. So any of those ways that work for you are fine with me. You could have started with the value. You could have said Batman saves 3 people per day, and Iron Man saves 4 people per day. So right there, you can find out that Iron Man saves more people. Or you can find something that's in common. The 12 saves were in common, or the 5 days. Whichever one of those 3 makes sense to you are fine with me. So let's look at the bottom. It says write 2 equations for each ratio table. So let's start with Batman. How do I get from saves to days? So if I'm up here with Batman, how do I get from 12 to 4, or from 15 to 5, or even from 3 to 1? To get from the left to the right, I'm going to divide by 3. So I'm going to take S. I'm going to divide it by 3. That will get me D. So saves divided by 3 gets me days. That was starting from the left going to the right. Now, if we start from the right, we're going to do the inverse now. If we start from the right and go back to the left, how do I get from 1 to 3? How do I get from 4 to 12? It's going to be times 3 this time. So I'm going to take days, and I'm going to multiply by 3. I want that 3 in the front to be a coefficient. That will give me saves. So there's your 2 equations for Batman. And let's do 2 more for Iron Man. So if we go over to Iron Man, how do I get from saves to days? 12 to 3, 16 to 4. I'm dividing by 4. So I'm going to take saves. I'm going to divide by 4. Remember, a fraction tells us it's division. That equals days. Let's do the inverse. Let's start with days. Let's go back to saves. So from days back to saves, I'm going from 1 to 4, or 3 to 12, 4 to 16. I'm multiplying by 4. So here's my days. I'm going to put the 4 in front because we're multiplying by 4. 4 is the coefficient, and that will equal saves. So the key here is the equation, so make sure you have those equations. And we have one last question for you. It says, use your equations to find out how many days it would take each hero to save 96 people, to have 96 saves. So here's what we're going to do. Saves is an S. So if I look down at my equations, I have an S built in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute 96, because that's what I want for an answer for saves. I'm going to put 96 in for the S. I'm going to actually do the math, and that'll tell me how many days it takes. So I'm going to start with Batman, and I'm substituting the 96 in for the S. So I have 96 over 3. All I've done is substitute. And if I divide that, 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So 32 is the days. So how many is it for the bat? 32 days. And if we go over to Ironman, I'm putting 96 in for the S, so I have 96 over 4. And I need to find out how many days it's going to take. So you could do this math over here if you wanted to. That'll perfectly fine get you what you need. However, I know that there's 24 hours in a day. And I know that 2 days is 48 hours. And I know that 3 days is 72 hours. If I added one more 22 onto that, or one more 24 onto that 72, that would give me 96. So I know that 4 days is 96 hours. So I know that 4 goes into 96 24 times. If you did this math over here, it would work out the same way. 4 is 16 4 times. Get your goose egg, 24 either way. 24 days. So here's the real proof. Ironman can save 96 people in 24 days, and it takes Batman 32 days to save the same amount. So that is your superhero ratio table video. Your homework is on the back. Use this for notes.